This is Lisa, and you know what? I'm so excited. It's springtime, and we just got back from New Zealand. I'm just wanted to give you kind of a little bit of an update today about what we've been up to. I know sometimes people wondering what happened. They were praying and they sewed into the project, but we spent 3+ weeks there in New Zealand, all up in the North Island, and it was off the chart. I'm telling you. We went with Brad Hamey, who's a Maori leader there, an apostolic leader. Went down to the Wellington area, which is all the way down to the south of that island, visited the National Museum there in Wellington. And the cool part about that was they took us into their archives where the indigenous artwork and treasures of the Maori people, and we're talking like hundreds, if not thousands of years of artwork and weapons and carvings. It was like going into the ancient storehouses, and as we went in there, they were showing us these instruments and everything. And we were there because his wife is a fashion designer, and the Maoris were having a fashion exhibit opening up right there in the National Museum in Wellington. And the Prime Minister Jacinda was there, and it was just a really awesome, intense time to be there and be a part of celebrating the Maoris and indigenous people as they're taking their place in the history of the world for today. And then we were in a church there and just preaching and teaching and just releasing the presence of the Lord. Made some really good friends with Matt Renata and all of the people that were there. And then we went up toward the north, and we spent some time with Beryl at the YWAM base there north of Kaiwaka. We were with Toffrey Littlejohn there in Kaiwaka, just enjoying him and ministering with him there with some of the leadership training. And then we were at a conference in Kaio with Apostle Helen Hebert and Brenda Parshatam, who's apostle from Auckland. We also were able to go up and pray over the north part of the island, a place where the indigenous people believe that there's a spiritual opening there and a portal. And we were there, and it's interesting that while we were there praying over the island and praying over the water and the ocean, that there were also some other indigenous people, but they were not praying to the Lord. And so I'll just kind of leave it there in code language. But it was just amazing. We met several new people like Owen in Auckland. Went to the Tapo region there. It's in the center of the North Island where there's a volcano, big lake. It's like the heartland of the North Island of New Zealand. Interesting, around the world where we go, we end up going to the heartland part of whatever nation it is that God sends us to. So there we were with Warwick, and Hiniawe came, and Brad came, and we were hosting about a 4-day conference there, just talking about apostolic centers, talking about prophetic ministry and what that might look like. Apostolic centers being established throughout the North Island and maybe on into some of the other islands as well. And so, powerful time with the Lord. I was excited because I see indigenous leaders emerging, and it's so powerful because they're taking some of the things that they've learned from the United States, but they're hearing what God is speaking to them. And so to see that established and be a part of that. So we're planning on going back a couple more times this year. One of the great things that is happening there is that Warwick and some of his team, they work with videography and television. And so we're going to be putting together a new, very strategic online school. And it'll be based out of New Zealand, but it'll be Warring Dove International School, and maybe possibly opening a mission base in New Zealand as well. So very exciting to see what God is doing there. We're excited to partner with the people that are already doing the work. It's not like we're doing the work. We're partnering with them to see them fulfill the vision that God has for them. A couple of things with the mission base here at the World Headquarters in Lawrence, Kansas, is that we have been restructuring some things. We're still looking to expand our vision here. We will be hosting a conference in June, maybe the 3rd or the 4th weekend. We had an amazing time in Texas. We did Seekers of the Lost Treasure, talking about returning to the ancient past and just going deeper in the Word of God and a deeper revelation of God in your life. And so we want to do that here in the heartland, up here in the Kansas region. So if you're around, you want to be a part of that, you don't want to miss that. God is really challenging His people to go deeper, and you want to be a part of that too. I'm headed out here next week for Montana. going to the Great Falls region. I'm very excited, looking forward to working with some Indigenous leaders. It's been my passion and my hope to expand into the northern regions. And a couple months ago, I met with 120 leaders from around the country and met some people from the Arctic Circle and up in the Eskimo regions in Alaska and up in the northern parts of Canada. So having a place in Montana is very strategic because that puts us right in that region. Maybe having a location where Native Americans all around that region can come and have training a couple of times a year. We're excited. I want to thank you for all the prayer and the intercession. I'm not going to lie, we've really needed intercession. We've really needed prayer right now. I know that many people that are on the front lines are doing Forerunner ministry. We know that God's about to break loose because it's like, just before a baby's born, there's all this pressure and it just things are really stretched and then boom, it breaks free. And I feel like that's what's getting ready to happen right now. So I have this hope and this joy. I know that God's doing amazing things and we're so glad that you partner with us here in Warring Dove International. You know what? We look forward to hearing from you. So send your testimonies and let us know what God's doing. Send me an email and please come to these projects. Please remember to sow into the nations because the nations are Jesus's inheritance. We are so blessed. May God bless you and be with you. We'll see you next time.